Hi everyone and welcome to another vlog thing. Yeah. So basically today's video is just like a catch up of everything that has happened to me within the last week. I said I would be doing a video on reclaiming the night and the rape culture and everything that goes on within women and everything like that, and I will be. So this isn't really an official video. I mean, it is because I've uploaded it, but it's not. Anyway, you know what I mean. I hope. So last week I had a near-death experience. Quick disclaimer, this video I'm going to talk about some pretty gory details. So if you all are not comfortable with blood and like medical stuff and just gory things, this is not for you. I basically wanted to speak about this because it's something that happened to me and it's really made me change perspective, and it's quite dramatic, big thing to happen, really. A few days before my birthday, I got into a terrible accident. I'd say terrible, it was terrible for me. Like, thank God it didn't affect anyone else. Well, yeah. What happened was I was riding my bike to school. I wasn't riding to school. I don't I was taking my stepson to school via bike, and we'd been doing it a few mornings. We'd done it a few times. Same journey. Like, it's a journey we had done a few times and we were used to it. We were comfortable with it. I was comfortable with him being on the road or on pavements and like following my direction. He always rides in front of me so I can see him if anything happens, or I can like look onto ongoing traffic, etc, etc, or I can like make sure that he's in a safe position. So I'm constantly got my eyes on him. Again, I fumble so much. I'm so sorry. All the products that I will be using I will list down below. Back to my death. Like I say, a normal day, just riding to school. All fine, all well and good. Then the whole thing is a bit of a blur. Like, what I think what I remember happened. I think what I remember happened isn't actually what happened. It's just what I've managed to piece together and what makes sense, but I don't know if that's actually what happened, and I will never know because it was just such a quick thing to happen. What I think happened was I was riding my bike, I've lost balance, like I've gone over a twig, a stone maybe. I freaked out because we were on we had to cross the road and we had to be on a pavement for this bit of the journey because on the other side of the road there was no longer pavement, and I don't like doing that with my kid because if an emergency happens where we need to stop, there's no safe place to go. So I always make sure that we have got a safe area to be in case something happens. So we crossed the road to where there is pavement, and we were riding on the pavement. There was no pedestrians. I always make sure of that, and we were doing it safely. I was doing what was best for him. And judge me all you want, like, oh yeah, you should have still been on the road. I really don't care. I mean, I'm gonna do what's safe for him, so fuck off. Lost my balance, and what I think happened was where we were on the pavement, there was a wall next to us, and I think my handlebar went into the wall and then pushed me that way, and then I've gone diagonally over the handlebars into the road, and the bike has followed me, tangled in within my legs. I've landed, the bike's landed on top of me, and the bike has gone into my leg. It was pretty damn gross. So as I've landed on the floor in the middle of the road, my kid has carried on riding his bike. He's not noticed, he's not heard anything. Yeah. I can't believe he didn't hear me fall. Okay, he's carried on riding his bike, and as he is riding, as I'm on the floor, I've started shouting his name to try and stop him because I don't want him riding off into the next little towny bit and then realising I'm not behind him. Like, that was my main worry. I was like, no, you need to stop. Thankfully, people stopped and made sure I was okay. Managed to stop him before he'd rode off too far. He's come running back and just seen me in a pool of blood on the floor. It wasn't great for him. I did everything that I could to make him feel okay and feel like I was going to be okay, because I honestly had no idea. I was just on the floor, a bike in my legs and a pool of blood. I had no idea what was going on. My main focus was to make sure that he calmed down and that he was okay. I don't know if that's just parent instinct or because I don't know. I just wanted to make sure he was okay. Now, there were people on the phone to ambulances and stuff, and all I wanted to do was make sure he was okay. I kept smiling at him. I can't imagine what he must have been seeing, because I'm on the floor. I can't imagine it. Like, he was a mess. He really was. He didn't really know what to do, but like he would, like, normal adults in that situation struggle. Like, I know I would. So for him being the way he was, I was really proud of him. Hello. Are you gonna come and say hello to the camera? Hello. I am trying to do a video. Yeah, okay, I'll give you love. Thanks, my legs, and thankfully the people that were in the cars that stopped were like doctors and nurses on their way to work, so they were able to look after me properly. In normal circumstances, you wouldn't be allowed to remove anything around or by the wound, and they'd move the bike. Well, I had moved the bike. I partially dislodged the bike myself because when I fell on the floor and I tried calling after my kid, oh my god, everything in the universe does not want me to make a video today. I'm backtracking so much. Oh, I should have made a dislodged it in my legs as I tried calling after my kid, and the bike must have like moved where it had gone into my leg, must have moved out of my leg, because we still don't know what part of it actually went into my leg. We don't know. I keep backtracking. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. I really should make a storyboard before I start a video. On my Instagram, I know I made a poll about what I should do for my next look, and for my next official proper video where I will be talking about rape culture, I will do an artsy kind of look because that's what got voted for. So I will be doing that. Today's just a normal look because I'm planning on trying to go out today. Yeah, I'm attempting actually walking outside, so that's new. Sitting here right now, I am very uncomfortable. It took a while to get comfortable sitting here, because I'll get onto it in a bit. I'm blabbering. A bike's in my leg, kids freaking out, ambulance is on the way. So I've tried calling my partner to come and pick my kid up, because obviously he can't come to the hospital with me at the moment because of COVID and stuff. Like, nobody can come with you, and my kid could have obviously come with me if nobody was there to pick him up, but that was not the environment that I wanted him to be in at all, because we weren't far away from my house at all. But anyway, ambulance turns up and I'm just there laughing my head off. I was in absolute complete shock. Oh yeah, so before that, I'm trying to call everyone. Like, I'm calling my partner, calling my sister, someone else called my kid's school to let them know, and I'm trying to call everyone just to make sure everyone else is okay. Like, I didn't give a shit about me at all. I just wanted to make sure that everything else was okay. So I'm trying to call my boss, right, to tell him that I'm not coming into work today because I'm on the floor in a pool of blood. I really can't imagine what that must have sounded like, because I'm on the floor in hysterics, like, just like, not bad hysterics, I'm laughing, and contacting him going, hiya, I'm fine. I'm just on a bike's in my leg. So that's everything your boss wants to hear on a Wednesday morning. Someone was on the phone to the ambulance trying to ask me my details, and I'm like, oh yeah, my name's Emma, this is my birthday, and then I'm trying to talk, and it took a few people to kind of go, look, get off your phone, and just talk to us. You've called people, you've done, like, just stop. Like, I will be backtracking a lot because the whole thing, like I say, is a blur, and I forget certain things until I mention it. So before the ambulance got there, one of the doctors wanted to move me out of the road because I was in the middle of the road. Like, yeah, so that was safe. So obviously, smart move me out the road. So as they're trying to move me out of the road, they've, like, the women have lifted me up because they managed to get the bike out from my legs and dislodged it all and moved it all out the way. Which they shouldn't really have done, but they're doctors, so it's fine. And then they've managed to lift me onto the pavement so I'm not in the road anymore. And that was excruciating. But because I was in so much shock, I'm just laughing. I don't know if it was because I was trying to make sure my kid was okay, because I in my head I was like, be happy, be happy, be happy, be happy. Don't worry about anything, just be happy. Because I kept turning to him going, I'm okay, look, I'm smiling, I'm happy, I'm fine. I was not fine. No, I wasn't okay at all. But I just kept telling myself and my kid that I was. So the best way to describe this is I was wearing black jeans and they were drenched. And I mean drenched in blood. There obviously when I was in the road there was a puddle of blood, and I've just been sat in it for however long. The women lifted me up off the ground, and all the blood, like, you could just, you know when you were younger and you wet yourself and your trousers were soaked and it was warm? That's what it felt like. It felt like I'd wet myself, but it wasn't piss, it was blood. Like, it's nasty. It's a horrible feeling. These ladies are picking me up. They're getting blood on their hands because it's like it was everywhere. I made the joke of, it's just a bad period, guys. Why would I say that? Everyone started laughing, so that's fine. And I think that's when everyone really knew how much shock I was in. Bless my little one. He just kept saying I was like, kept saying, are you gonna be okay, like making sure I was okay, and which, I mean, is the right response obviously in that situation, but I just didn't give a shit about me. I wanted to make sure he was okay, so I kept going, no, don't worry about me, are you okay? Okay, ambulance arrives, my partner finally arrives and picks up my kid and takes him home. So whilst I'm in the ambulance, the ladies, we have a great conversation. I'm on gas on air. It was great. And they've had to cut my jeans off, like fully snip up the middle, cut them off. And I managed to get a photo, which I will not, like, post because it's quite gross. But it genuinely looks like a really bad birthing scene. That's pretty much what it looks like. It's a really bad. I get to the hospital and they do all their scans, they do all their bits and bobs. Like, I had a CT scan, which was cool. Never had that before. They had to push some liquid into my veins, blood vessels, something. Had to push liquid into me, and it was horrible. It was horrible. It really, really was horrible. They had to do that to see if any had damaged any blood vessels or anything like that, which makes sense now, but yeah. The thing that was most annoying is that they gave me morphine and I didn't feel high. When they said to me I was getting morphine, I wasn't excited that I wasn't going to feel pain. I was excited to be high. Don't do drugs, kids. Obviously, I knew it was for pain relief, but I've heard so many stories of people on morphine and I'd never had it before, and I genuinely was curious. I felt nothing, which was very frustrating. I'm not even gonna sit here and deny it. I was really pissed off that I wasn't high. Like, really fucking fucking pissed off. I'm not a druggie, I promise. I'm still on like medication, so this video is going to be all over the place, and I'm in a lot of pain still. So I'm not thinking clearly, and I do apologise for how jumbled and maybe how much this video is not going to make sense. Oh, something that was really gross that happened in hospital is I needed a wee, and obviously where I couldn't really move myself because I was in so much pain in the hospital bed. They tried to get me one of those like wheelchair toilet things. I've tried to sit in this wheelchair toilet thing, my wound on my leg where the bike had gone into me has decided to open up and piss everywhere. Like, everywhere. Again, I thought I had pissed myself because I had this warm liquid underneath me, because where the wound is right next to my vagina. Like, right next to it. I know, what a great place to cut yourself. Where the blood was dropping, it was going onto my butt. It was just warm liquid, and again I thought I'd pissed myself because it was warm liquid just underneath me, and it was disgusting. As like they tried moving me onto their wheelchair toilet, it didn't really work out, so they had to give me a bedpan, which was the most embarrassing experience of my life. Yeah, I'd done everything in hospital and had all my tests, and I was just waiting. Like it was 10 hours I was sat in A&E waiting, and I'm not annoyed that I was waiting that long because everything was going on with COVID and stuff. Like, I know I would have been waiting a while no matter what, so it's cool, it's whatever. That was still, regardless, was 10 hours of me very uncomfortable. Like, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I couldn't move. Like, I couldn't get in a position that was comfortable. I had a hole in my leg that if I moved the wrong way, it would open up and start bleeding everywhere. It was very, very, very uncomfortable. The morphine didn't work. I was having, like, nothing was working. And I'm allergic to paracetamol. So it's very difficult to give me pain medication. Like, I struggled, man. It was not nice. It was horrible. And then 10 hours later, I got the verdict of, I have a fractured pelvis. Huh. All the things I could have done, I fractured my fucking pelvis. Like, of course you did, Emma. All the things I could have done, it was my pelvis that I fractured. So it's great. A lot of sense. Like, I was like, oh, okay, that makes more sense to why I can't move and why it's been excruciatingly painful to try and move. Like, it made a hell of sense. They then so the orthopedic people, which I think are the hip people, I can't really remember who was who. The orthopedic people said to me that where my wound was, like, half of it was orthopedic and then half of it was for general surgery. And I'm looking at him like, what? Okay, well, what do you mean right now? What does this mean? So it was like on the border. So half of the wound was for one area of the hospital, and then half of the wound was for the other area of the hospital. So one department couldn't make the decision for me. It had to be two departments to discuss it. And obviously these two departments are busy with their own cases. And then now they have to find time to discuss my case together. Like, man. So they discussed, God knows how many doctors came down, and I had to open my legs. And they had to lift up the plastery flap that was protecting the wound and have a look at it all. And it was, yeah, it really wasn't a fun experience, but I don't think anyone would have had a fun experience, like COVID or no COVID or whatever. Like, it's not great at all. I was terrified that I was actually gonna have to have surgery, because when I got told about a fractured pelvis, I was like, oh, right, oh, okay, like, that's it. So I googled it. First thing I did, Google it. Of course I'm gonna Google it. Like, what? It turns out that majority of pelvic breakages, like fractures and stuff, and like hip breakages, you require surgery. So I'm just sat there like, oh, for fuck's sake, great, I'm gonna have surgery. I've never had surgery before. Like, it was quite terrifying, really, for me to think about. Freaking out that I'm gonna have surgery. I was like, oh my god, I've been here for so long, I just want to go home. And then I overheard another nurse going around and giving any patient who was in A&E beds that were being admitted for the night, giving them COVID tests, and they were gonna have like quick COVID tests. She came in like 4 times asking me to come and like asking to put this like swab down my throat, and I kept saying, oh no, I don't know if I'm actually staying the night or not, because it was in discussion like, oh, you'll be staying the night. Oh no, you won't be, you can go home. And I was like, right, okay. And I kept asking doctors, like different ones, because different people were coming to see me. Like I had my actual doctor who was like my A&E doctor who'd been taking care of me the entire time I was there, orthopedics doctor, and then general surgery doctor, and then another doctor. I think she wasn't a doctor, I think she was like the head of nurses, telling me different things as well. And each person I said to them, like, do I have to be admitted? Do I need to be here overnight? And I kept getting told different things. I was so uncomfortable. I was getting annoyed. I was getting ratty. I wasn't rude to anyone. And like, that's something I pride myself on, the fact that I wasn't rude to anyone, because it's nobody's fault but my own that I was clumsy and fell off a bike. But as you can imagine, I was just getting pissed. Like, I was just annoyed. All I wanted to do was go home. And I was getting told by one doctor, is like, if you can move, you can go home. Now, I knew I couldn't move. So how was I going to do this? I could move my right leg. It was my left leg that has the hole in it, and the left side of my pelvis that is broken. My right leg and right hip is fully functioning and fully fine. I knew I could move that aside. So the plan was to get crutches and walk on them. It sounded simple enough, right? Get crutches, I can walk on those, and it will be fine. I will go home. Well, you think it'd be that easy? Well, general surgery, when they came and checked on me, and they said I didn't need surgery, but they said, oh, we'll need to admit you for a few days to keep on top of things and get us to make sure that you're to monitor your pain and to monitor my movement. They wanted to see me with a physiotherapist to like see how well my movement was doing, blah 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 blah. And I'm just there like, no. I flat out was just refusing, like, no. Like, when he said all this, I obviously was like, oh, okay, right. Is that needed? Like, is it needed? And he didn't really give me a proper answer. I really didn't want to waste hospital time. I really didn't want to do that. Like, not me. I'm not that kind of person that goes to the doctor for stupid shit. I'm not the kind of person to go to A&E for stupid shit. I respect the NHS and I will go there when it's needed. I don't abuse it. So I didn't want to have a bed and be admitted for something just like a fracture on my pelvis. As soon as I got home, I kind of realised why they wanted to admit me. And it all made sense. And yeah, but I was home, so it was done. The orthopedic doctor switched over, like his shift had finished. And a new orthopedic doctor had come to take over me, and I just said to her, like, look, what is keeping me here? She was like, well, really your movement. She was worried about my movement. She was like, I don't, like, if you're bed bound, that is something we need to keep an eye on. I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm not bed bound, I think I can get about with my crutches and stuff. She legit was like, okay, well, that's not only my issue, but my issue is how much weight you can put on your leg. And I basically was just saying to myself, oh, I can put left weight on my right leg, so that's fine. Like, I can put it on my right leg. I don't need to stay here. I was adamant about not staying in hospital. I really didn't want to stay in hospital. Like, that's just not, I just didn't want to stay. I think she knew that. I think she could see how uncomfortable I was, and just, I was fed up. If I was going to be uncomfortable anywhere, I wanted to be uncomfortable at home, not in hospital. But she said to me, oh, okay, well, as long as we can see that you can walk, we can let you go. And I was adamant this was going to happen. So I called my mother-in-law and told her to come pick me up. And this is genuinely before I knew that they were actually going to let me go. But they couldn't legally force me to stay. And I in my head, I was like, nah, I'm leaving. I'm going. Bye, bitches. So my mother-in-law arrived to come pick me up, and they were looking what I was doing on my crutches. And I was doing fine. I might have faked how much pain I was in. Oh, I was in fucking agony, man. Getting to the car was horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Getting into the car was like, I can't even. It was horrible. Horrible. First kind of red flag, which indicated, oh, maybe I should have stayed at hospital. I get home from hospital and they'd only given me codeine to go home with as my medication. I could have sworn they said, oh, they were going to give me this. It was when I got home that I remembered they were going to do a lot of things for me in hospital, which they hadn't done, which I fully blame myself for, because I was in such a rush to leave. Fully blame myself for that there was stuff that they had missed. They needed to clean out my wound, which they didn't do. I had to not stitch up the wound because of how close it was to the fracture, and they were worried that it would cause me too much pain, which is 100% true. It would have caused me too much pain. I'm glad that they didn't stitch it up. However, it's pretty gross now, so I wish they kind of did. I've gotten home and they called me up the next day and they said, oh, because the woman said to me, if you don't hear from us, it's fine. You don't need to hear anything else from us. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. That's amazing. Me, naive as I am, thinking that I wasn't going to get spoken to, because the orthopedics team were going to have a meeting in the morning like they do every morning and discuss all the cases from the previous day, where like head of departments are there and they can make better decisions because they're more qualified to. And they reviewed my case, and she called me, and what did I know? It wasn't everything that. And there was stuff that still needed to be done. They gave me antibiotics for infection, which, I mean, I think they would have done even if they didn't wash out my wound or not. They said to me that I needed injections to thin my blood. Because on the phone, she was like, oh, how are you doing? How's your mobility? How's all of that going? And I'm just there like, oh, yeah, it's cool. She's like, are you actually moving? And I know, like, you shouldn't lie to a doctor, but I just wanted to be okay. I wanted to be back to work. I just wanted to be okay. This is not a good time for me to fracture my pelvis. It really isn't. So I just wanted to be okay. I just wanted to lie to her, but I knew I shouldn't. So I told her, I was like, oh, no, actually, I'm just in bed. And she's like, oh, okay, right, okay, well, we're going to add some blood thinners to stop blood clots. I was like, oh, right. She's like, because you're not mobile. Which then indicated to me another reason why they wanted me to stay in hospital. I was at risk of blood clots. So that's great. When I asked how long it takes for this kind of thing to heal, and they said, oh, well, you know, it takes 6 to 8 weeks for it to fully heal. I'm like, oh, great. That's amazing news. My first question was, can I work? Bitch, you fractured your pelvis and you're asking if you can work? Like, what are my priorities? And their honest answer to me was, it takes 6 to 8 weeks to heal. It might not take that long for me. It might take less. I was like, oh, great. I'm naive, so I'm obviously saying to myself, like, yeah. I'll be better. I'll be better by then. Like, yeah. I'm dumb as fuck, aren't I? To me, I could be mobile again within a week or two, and they weren't wrong. It's been a week, and I can get around the house somewhat without crutches. Like, I can kind of walk around without crutches. I say walk, one of my foot is on tippy toe, and I hobble. My naive ass took that as, oh, you can walk around and you'll be fine again within 2 weeks. Yeah, I mean, I'm dumb as fuck. As more time's gone on, I've realised that how stupid I fucking was for thinking that. Because yeah, I'm mobile, but like I'm not mobile at all. I can't really get around the house. Like I really struggle to get in positions that are comfortable because my fucking hip is fractured, man. To comfortable positions is literally the hardest thing ever. Like you just really don't take into consideration how bad it's gonna be. Like you just don't realise it's gonna be that bad. I can't really walk around the house much. Today I'm attempting walking to the post office, which is round the corner. So I will see how well I can do that. I'm walking around the corner. I'm going to be in my crutches, using crutches to get round to the post office because I will not be able to make a distance that far without them. Can't believe my naive ass genuinely thought I'd be fine and back to work and doing everything by next week. I genuinely am fine. Like, I know that doesn't sound like what somebody with a hole in their leg, because the hole's still there from the wound. It was a pretty big hole, pretty big, deep, and it's still there and it's gross. Like it's disgusting. It was. Is it still? No, it's still leaking some orange shit. It's gross. No, like apart from the obvious, I am actually absolutely fine, and I've really. It's made me realise a lot of things because it genuinely was a near-death experience. The whole thing was quite traumatic now, like I look back on it, but I'm really glad that my fight or flight mode was to just try and be okay. Also, I'm really sorry about my nail varnish. I've just realised how bad that is. I am getting there. It's scary looking back on it, like everything that happened, and just thinking about how lucky I really, really was. Like I was so unbelievably lucky. So the reason that it was a near-death experience is because if the bike had gone into my leg just a couple of like centimeters or inches, one way or the other, I don't really know. It's my friend that actually pointed this out to me. If it had gone in literally like about that far away, it would have hit a main artery and it would have killed me within seconds. I would have bled out and died. And my stupid ass is so glad that it didn't happen, because not because I didn't want to die, but because I didn't want my kid to see me die. Like as soon as she said that to me, I was instantly like, oh my god, thank god it didn't happen so he didn't see that. Not all thank god it didn't happen, because bitch, I'd be dead. Having a kid is really weird. Importance for things just completely changes. It really fucking does. You know, I was extremely lucky because, like I said, I could have hit a main artery. I was extremely lucky because I fell off my bike. I didn't hit my head or injure my back or my neck or my spine, and I wasn't wearing a helmet, and I didn't hit my head in such a horrific fall. Like, how fucking lucky is that, man? Like, I had fallen and I literally tumbled and like just I didn't nothing else apart from like a little cut on my elbow and my fractured pelvis and hole in my leg. Nothing else was injured. Like, what the fuck? I truly am so unbelievably lucky that it was not worse than what it was. Wear a fucking helmet. Like, please wear a helmet. When I fell off the bike, though, there was a traffic jam, so no cars were moving. I could have fallen into the road. Remember, I had crossed the street and the traffic was coming towards me rather than with me. I could have fallen into a car that was driving towards me, but there was a traffic jam, so no cars were moving. Like, how fucking lucky, man. And not to mention that all the people in the cars were doctors and nurses on their way to work. Like, I could not have picked a better time or day or whatever to fracture myself. And obviously the fracture could have required surgery, and I didn't need it. When I say I am lucky, I am lucky. Man, I could have died, and I didn't. And I'm just unbelievably grateful that I didn't die. But yeah, so that's what happened to me. Like I say, I'm doing okay. Like, I'm fine. And it's only, like, only fucking I would, you know, nearly kill myself. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to ask in the comments below and I will answer those questions for you. My main issue is getting comfortable at the makeup station, because this hasn't been easy to do. It's been really fucking painful to do. I'm going out and I wanted to look pretty. And I thought I would tell you guys my horrific story at the same time. You realise the importance of stuff after something like that happens. You really, really do. There is so much I will not take for granted now at all because of this. And no, I'm not scared to go back on a bike. I actually did something very similar when I was a bit younger, and the bike went into my other leg. So now I have matching scars on my legs. Like, I really am taking each day as it comes now and just trying my best to, you know, try different things and attempt, you know, doing different stuff. Like, I'm going to attempt going to the post office today. I might succeed, I might not, but I need to try, because I'm going to have to start walking and going out places at some point, you know? So I might as well try and see how well I do. Everything opens up outside next week, so hopefully I can try and walk to my local and have a beer. Because when I drink, I am a dumbass. Obviously, I have a broken pelvis and a hole in my leg, which is still healing and is still very much of an open wound, which I have to bandage every day. And it pusses and it bleeds and it leaks and it's disgusting. Like, fuck me, it's disgusting, man. This is why I wish they stitched it up, because of all the fucking fluids that come out of it. You do not think that if you cut your leg, that fluids are going to continuously come out of your leg for a while. It's been a week. It's still leaking orange shit. Obviously, when I drink, I'm a fucking idiot, and with all that that's going on with me, I should not get drunk. It would be very stupid for me to get drunk, because knowing me, I 100% would try and do something stupid, and make myself worse. When I say that I'm going to go to the pub and have a beverage, it will be a beverage. I just want to take a minute to say thank you to the NHS and all the doctors that did help me. Like, thank you. Like, it's not easy to be a doctor. Like, you had to help me piss. You had to shove a load of crap into my wound as it started pissing blood everywhere. You had to deal with my COVID pubes, because, you know, the wound was right next to my vagina. Like, soz. I know I keep saying it, but I am actually fine. I am fine. Please do not worry about me. Please do not freak out. Like, it's cool. I'm cool. And again, I do apologise with the mess I've probably made with this video today, because it's just all over the place, you know? Like, I'm just, it's one of those things. I want to say thank you to everyone who's wished me well, because obviously I put a post up on Facebook the other day, and a lot of people were very kind and, you know, wishing me well, so thank you. And the makeup I did is inspired by these little things that this guy here got me. So that is everything for my near-death experience. I'll see you next time for my next video.